So yeah, before we begin the presentation, may I know any of you are using the streaming database here? Any of you? None of us? Okay, that's fine. So yeah, what exactly the batch processing, stream processing, it has been evolving from the past decade. Whenever we think of stream processing, we think of fragmented stack of systems. Is there a better way to do this? Can we unify this into a single unified stack so that we don't have to maintain multiple systems? Like for every ingestion, processing of events, event platform, and then transformation, and then syncing into the target sinks, we need multiple systems to be maintained, right? So yeah, I'm not from a data engineering background. So if non-data engineer writes the data pipeline, how will it look? Let's see that. It's a simple ETL pipeline, but it can handle the complex pipelines also, which can serve multiple sinks and which can connect to the multiple sources as well. So yeah, we are going to cover what is the real data processing challenge. Everybody wants the data freshness to be as low as possible, right? AI models want fresh data so that the predictions are not stale, and the live dashboards, and when you come across like financial transactions, the fraudulent transactions should be alerted immediately. So such challenges are there. So how can we address using the streaming database? What exactly is the streaming database? And what is the core component of this? Can you write the entire stack using simple SQL DDL language? And you can cascade them into multiple layers. And what are the different use cases we have? When can we choose this streaming database platform? Starting with the real-time data time challenge, that's what. This is the traditional data pipeline architecture that you see here, right? Whenever there is a change in the source, the events get transformed into the Kafka, gets pushed into the Kafka. Kafka is the event platform. It processes the events, and it fans out to different jobs, which does the transformation logic or extraction, transformation, load. Everything is done by Flink. And we need a serving database at the end of your downstream so that downstream applications can use all the data from this one, transfer process data. Here, what is the challenge is it's fragmented. So if you have to trace back the data lineage, it takes a lot of effort, and there are boundaries at every step, at every fragment, right? So such things can be addressed using the streaming database. And So what exactly is the streaming database? It is purpose-built for continuous incremental computation over streaming data and as well as historical data. It's not just the streaming data, even the historical data can be processed using this streaming database engine. How is it different from the traditional database? So in traditional database, what happens whenever we write the data into the system, while reading the data, a lot of compute cost will be there because we have to transform the data how we need it. We filter out the data, we join, we aggregate. All these things is taken care while reading the data from the database. That is basically a pull-based mechanism, pull-based model. Whereas streaming database is the push-based mechanism. Before writing into the sink, you do all the transformations. Yeah, traditional stack, as we saw, right, as we explained, there are different stacks. So here, the 4 distinct systems to be managed, 4 different deployments, configurations, and your team should have this expertise of knowing each and every system that you have added in the data pipeline. But in case of RisingWave is one of the vendor for streaming database who has unified all the different stages of data pipeline into a single stack using PostgreSQL. So you can write all your transformations using PostgreSQL, including ingestion, transformation, and load. How can we achieve this using this simple Postgre definitions? So let's get into a little deeper, like views in your database, right? What they do, they are just the query that is stored in the database. Every time we query a view, we get the data from the table, and we render the data. So it's a full cost. Every time, every single query requires a full cost. There is a performance hit also. So that's not the efficient way of rendering the data. Then came the materialized view. When there is a trade-off between performance and data freshness, then you have to choose between what you need: real-time data freshness, or the performance. The materialized view, basically what it does, you can refresh the data and the data is stored on the disk. So you can query the result set of the materialized view, but here the challenge is again the data freshness. How can this be addressed using like we were planning to do the event processing? How can it be done through the materialized view? Then comes the incremental materialized view. Hope you have heard of this incremental materialized view. That's what the streaming database is built upon. This is the core component. What it does is whenever there is a change in the source table, the change is captured, and only on that change the processing is done and the results are stored in the disk. So it's basically the processing only a new or modified data rather than running the entire query, so thereby reducing the cost, and it maintains the stateful operators for each events, so that you don't have to scan the entire table. And how do you implement it? RisingWave has natively built the same statement, create materialized view, which will by default will create an incremental materialized view. This is how the delta propagation happens internally. Whenever there is a write append to the log, the change is captured, event is created, and for that change log, weights are added to each manipulation command, like insert, update, delete, and then the filters are applied. Upon then, it fetches the join indexes and accumulators from the state operators. It is stored in the state, and it is fetched from these, and then the result is stored in the disk, in the materialized view. This is just one single materialized view, but how can we achieve the data pipeline here? You can easily do it, but before that, just see the comparison between materialized view and the streaming database materialized view, which is incremental one. So in traditional way, whenever there is a refresh, you can see the spike. But in case of, it's consistent. It's only the delta that is coming. So what do you prefer here? Do you prefer a consistent performance or a century after 2 ducks? I mean, yeah. Definitely the consistent performance, right? You don't have to have the unpredictable spikes in your compute node. So that way, like, based on your use case, you can go with materialized view or incremental materialized view. And also the cost, you can see the refresh time. Refresh time also will be applied only on the update latency, because it's no matter what the data set size is, the latency will remain same, since it's only the incremental data that is coming across. How can you create your transformations? Look, whatever changes that is happening in the source table, that gets propagated to the first MV, and the changes happening in the first MV will go to the second layer of MVs, and finally it goes to the sync table. So that is how cascading materialized views can be implemented throughout your ETL pipeline. Here I have taken one simple example. It's a very simple example where, let's say, there are orders in the source tables. There are orders, customers, and regions. We want to generate insight based on the region, who are the VIP customers, and what is the total revenue generated out of that region, and what is the average order value in that region. So for this, the sources are created. Even the sources are created in streaming databases using the SQL command, which is not shown here, but it is create source, and you can just simply create a table inside your streaming database. And you can have the CDC connectors, input from Kafka, or you can have an input from multiple NoSQL databases also using the CDC connectors. All the data will come to the source tables, and from there, whenever there is a change in any of the row, immediately the first view that you can see here, right, customer totals, this immediately gets calculated. It gives it's a simple query which gives you the customer totals. So based on that, the data will get propagated, and finally, in the sync table, you can render the data like what is the count of VIP customers in this particular region, and what is the average order value, and what is the total revenue out of this. This happens in real time, almost real time. The data freshness here promised is sub 100 millisecond. So if you put multiple stack here, there are network hops, and there are latencies, and there are multiple challenges in getting the similar data in the same amount of time because of multiple systems that are involved. When to choose the streaming database? As I said, when the requirement, in the requirement you have like only the SQL is good enough for you to write the tight ETL pipeline, and you don't have to write you don't have to know any fancy language, high level language, and you have to write separate jobs for it. and your team doesn't have that knowledge base also, then here the learning curve will be very less, as everybody is aware of the SQL language. And the state management, it's all built in. It's transactional and it's built in. Since it's written on PostgreSQL, you don't have to have separate state management system. If you have to write in other processing engines, you have to have the custom state backends for every job that you create and every transformation that you do. And here the query interface is, as I said, it's a PostgreSQL wire protocol using the pSQL client or any JDBC or any pSQL compatible client. You can query the database. And operation model is, it's no jobs management required. Simple the DDL languages that you write, and you just compile them on, deploy them on your databases. As I said, serving latency is again very less. And apart from this, the RisingWave has implemented the state management, everything in S3, so it's infinitely scalable. And apart from that, it has developed the serving node, streaming node, compactor node, everything works in sync. And all the transformations that happen, that gets stored in 3-tier memory storage, like cache layer in memory and EBS you can use, and also the final one, that is S3. This 3-tiered memory architecture will take care of lower latency of sub 100 milliseconds. Yeah, decision framework. Yeah, if you want to write a data processing pipeline, do you need a SQL? And if your use case is real-time serving, then you can directly go for RisingWave. And know if your organization already is having a Kafka, then you can also use the Kafka for RisingWave. But if you want to build some complex logic, you can go for Flink. And if there are multiple consumers and more flexibility and more complications are there in your data ETL pipelines, then you can go for the combination of Kafka and RisingWave. As I said, it's the simple way of how the streaming database will work. That I don't want to dive in deeper into the architecture of RisingWave and all. So yeah, the key takeaway here is the streaming databases unify the stack. Materialized views are the killer feature. The simple materialized views can be used to write your entire ETL using the cascading MVs. These streaming database exactly complements the Kafka. It does not replace it. And if for your complex stateful logic, definitely Flink is the better choice yet. If cost and speed and simplicity, operational simplicity is your use case, then you can think of streaming database. So yeah, in a nutshell, hope this session have lit a spark to think about the streaming database if your use case